Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here, and welcome to the 5th episode of the FIFA 19 Juventus career mode. We're well underway in this one, and we're not too far off from the January transfer window. We're of course in December at the moment. We have the first game of the month to get through. It is against Fiorentina away. A pretty good one, a pretty big game, and thankfully Emre Can in the 85th minute was able to get us a victory, which is we're going to need as many as we can get in Serie A, to be honest. You would think it'd be pretty straightforward with us being Juventus, but no, there are definitely some teams that are keeping up with us in the title race. Napoli definitely being one, Inter Milan and Lazio and Sassuolo being another one. There's plenty of teams in there, and it's really Napoli that I think is going to take us all the way. But this game against Inter, I kind of get the feeling it will become very, very important later on down the track. I feel like Inter Milan will definitely come back into things, but still, before we get into that one, because that will be the first game that we played today, we do have a couple of Youth Academy players that have popped up, so we're going to sign a number of them there, obviously. We don't have some of the better scouts in the game, no, 5-star scouts or anything, but we're still picking up a couple of decently rated players like Moretti here. Our Italian scout's probably the lowest rated scout out of all of them, but he's still able to come up with a couple of nice ones so far. And then we also had a Croatian scout who I think we did find one player in the previous episode, but we're slowly building up our youth academy, and who knows, we might maybe be able to, depending on if we come across a real high rated scout or a real high-rated academy player, maybe we can call them up and even give them a game. Even though at this point it's really just about seeing how the youth academy is like this year and everything, just showcasing it all. But this is going to be a big one, I reckon. It is going to be back at home. Inter Milan are coming all the way over, so hopefully we can get them in our own backyard. They do have a number of pretty decent players, but hey, we've got Ronaldo, Salah, Dybala, Costa, all these boys. We got a stacked team. You know that we're going to take it to them, and hopefully we can get the 3 points and get this episode off to the right start. We've already been able to get one win from a simulated game. Hopefully we can do it ourselves. Now, we haven't been given many set pieces, yet to get like a penalty or anything like that, but I decided to switch it over to Ronaldo. I'm really happy with that change to the UI that actually shows if a player's got a higher stat, it lights it up in green. But from the set piece, hit it pretty well, just a little wide, unfortunately, and I can confirm that it does feel a little bit easier to score directly from a free kick rather than just, say, in FIFA 18 where it was just impossible. You had no idea where the ball was going. It was so random. It was so difficult to get a shot on target. Now it feels a lot more manageable anyway. So we came close there, just a little bit wide. Hopefully if it had curled back a little bit, we might have been able to have scored a banging free kick with Ronaldo, which would have been fantastic. But hopefully he might get a chance here. It's just not opening up for him, so he gets it maybe over to Matuidi, who gets a shot off. Saved by Handanovic. They clear it away. Pjanic collects, but it's still not dead yet. The attack is still going. It's still alive. Pjanic, maybe a chance here, but this time, once again, straight to Handanovic, and this time he hangs onto it. We came so close. I thought for sure we were going to get a goal there, and it looks like when I thought we were going to be 1-0 up, we might end up going 1-0 down, but thankfully the through ball is overhit. Perrin's able to collect. And in the end, I reckon both teams had their chance to score the first in the game. So for it to still be 0-0, I mean, I guess I'll take it. There's still more time left to go, an entire second half, but I am walking away from it a little disappointed. I was not able to pick up the win, but wasting no time winning the ball back. And not too shortly after that, we go on a counter-attack. Matuidi's just looking to set something up, or should I say Matuidi getting open now. Then it goes to Ronaldo. Just a simple side foot finish. Might have almost even clipped the post on the way in. It was placed that perfectly. And there you go. Ronaldo finally breaks this game open. We finally get the first. It's just a really nice, passing it into the back of the net. You don't need to absolutely twat the ball from time to time. You just need to pass it into the back of the net when you've got that much space, when you're that close to goal. And Handanovic has been good today as they whip one in here they were coming close, testing Matteo Perrin that time, but thankfully he was up to it. And now, in the 90th minute, we just had to hang on to the ball, move it forward. If we could get another chance, that would have been great. But the main thing was that we got the win, and we did just that. Even if it was a 1-0 win, I think I said it in the previous episode. I don't care if I win all 38 games in the league just 1-0, and I don't blow teams out. So long as we get the win, that's what matters, and we're able to do it. And again, like I said, Inter Milan may be only just in the top 6 at the moment, but I swear they'll be right up there toward the end of the season. So big win against a team that maybe could potentially bounce back and become a bit of a threat in the league. As we then move on, get a little bit of player training done, and this is going to be the final game in our group. As you can see, Spurs are currently on top with 12 points. We are second with 10 points. So this game is going to decide who finishes top of the group. Both Tottenham and myself have gone through, and basically what I decided to do was really rotate for it. I've got Bernardeschi at centre attack and midfielder. I put Costa at left wing, and I've started Mandzukic. So I've done a fair bit with the starting 11. If I do end up on top of the group, that'd be great, don't get me wrong, but I took this opportunity also as a chance to maybe rest a few players, only because and give players that I haven't really been playing as much a game, only because even if we lose this game and lose horribly, it really doesn't matter. We are through into the knockouts, and to be fair, you take whoever you can get. Sometimes finishing top of the group doesn't always necessarily guarantee you get an easier team either. So if we end up getting the win, we'll take it. But we are playing at Tottenham's brand new stadium as well, which is nice because we can actually get to see what it looks like. Because unfortunately, I still don't know what's going on. It's still not finished, the construction. It's still, I don't know, shambles. It's absolute shambles, but at least it does look good in FIFA 19. Hopefully it looks just as good in real life. But slipped in here, maybe a chance as we do get a ball through the legs of Lloris, but it must have clipped the back of his heel. They're trying to pass it out, and I don't know what they're doing. You'll see in FIFA 19 this year that AI really do try to retain possession. They don't just whack it up forward or anything, but Kane gets a header to Son, and then back to Kane, has a volley at it, and across the face of goal, thankfully, just wide of the post, and it's still 0-0. We had our chance, they've had their chances, it's a good back and forth so far, even with our sort of somewhat rotated side, like Bernardeschi and Mandzukic, they've not started at all at any point in this game, and Mandzukic plays a through ball, it's overhit, and unfortunately, we had a real chance there. It was a bit of a 2-on-1. I think we had Salah on the right-hand side, but again, not to be, and again, in the first half of this game, we still can't find a breakthrough. But again, we're still yet to concede, so that's a good thing as well. As we finally maybe can get something going here as their defense is stretched. Mandzukic this time to Mo Salah. What I tried to do in the first half with my previous attack, I finally pulled off this time. And Mo Salah opened with all the space. The fullbacks were gone. Son tried to recover and run back, but there was no chance. Davies had just come across way too much. Left Salah and just gave him an open goal. It's a brilliant, brilliant finish as well. Nice and simple, but Tottenham were coming, got a shot off, and thankfully, I think that was a save from Perrin that came off the post. Brilliant stop from the keeper. Mo Salah now, Bernardeschi looking to maybe set up. Emre Can, all the names that you wouldn't normally have in this starting 11, all the bench players and reserve players that have started for this game they're popping up in a big way. We've got Salah getting a goal. Obviously, he's going to be in the starting 11. He's a lock. But Bernardeschi's been great at that centre attack and midfield position. Even though I know he's more of a right midfielder, he can play at centre attack and midfield, and he's done brilliantly for me. Emre Can was good. Then after basically taking a 2-0 lead, I decided to bring on some big names and brought Pjanic on, brought Ronaldo on, basically just made sure that we took care of the result as Matuidi has a shot, ends up taking a deflection, I think, off of maybe Ronaldo or one of the Juventus players, but indeed, it may have just potentially gone over, but it was challenging the goal still either way. I was very surprised with the somewhat rotated team we put out there, how well we did against Tottenham in their own building, considering that they were probably the toughest team that we had to face so far this career mode. They were the first team that we lost to, but going to their own stadium, their own ground, they got their chances for sure, but they could not break us down, they could not score. We put two past them with a reserve, well, not a total reserve side, but with a pretty rotated team. I am going to take that. I get my win over Maurizio Pochettino, and that is a fantastic way to end the Champions League group stage. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to do it in the knockouts, and hopefully we'll get given a relatively decent team as well, now that we have finished on top of the group. And I'll definitely be sure to keep my eyes on who Tottenham Hotspur get, because obviously, if we didn't beat them in that game, we can pretty safely assume that that would have been the team that we would have been given. So, as we wait for the round of 16 teams to be drawn in, we eventually just advance on through to the game here against Torino. We'll simulate this one. Believe we have another Serie A game coming up as well. That will be against Roma. So we get this one out of the way. Again, even though it is another away game. And even though, yes, it definitely does feel like away games can certainly they definitely make things a lot harder. I'm still thankfully getting the right results here. I'm just maybe putting it down to the fact that Juventus and the team that we have is so damn good on paper compared to the rest of the Serie A that maybe we're getting away with it. But still, as we do look for the teams and who we've picked up in the round of 16, I'm still loving all these new additions and all the graphics and everything. But we have gone and got TSG Hoffenheim, and who have Tottenham got? I'm trying to spot them. They ended up getting I literally can't see them anyway. Here we go, up the top, Valencia. So if we didn't beat Spurs, we could assume we would have got Valencia. That would have been it's maybe a tougher game than Hoffenheim, but Hoffenheim in the round of 16. Look at all the other names that are in there. We got Hoffenheim. I think we, by far, got niced the most out of any other. We have definitely got on paper the easiest fixture. And look, £27.8 million is what we got for, or dollars, whatever, that we ended up getting for progressing out of the group stage. That's an insane amount of money. The weird thing is, though, that I don't think any of that went into my transfer budget, which is strange, but at the same time, it's weird. We still can sell on players, and I've really spent pretty much all my transfer budget as well, so it would have been nice for some of that to have been added into the budget, but not to be. Thankfully, another game simulated, another win. We already played the 2 in this episode, and I really wanted to get to January by the end of this one, and I am going to simulate a couple more. We won't be simming as many in the later stage of the season, don't you worry. We'll actually be playing it, but Roma and Atalanta are obviously 2 reasonably well-placed teams in Serie A. We're able to get 4 points out of a possible 6, so I'll take that. The worst result, the most regrettable thing about simulating that game was that we lost a player to a pretty serious injury there in Miralem Pjanic. 6 weeks he was gone for, and then only a few days later, like 3 days later, there's so many games bunched up toward the end of December, we had another game against Sampdoria at home, simulated that one, and that time got a much more reasonable and safer 3-0 win. Hey, we even got Ronaldo a hat-trick, which is not too bad, but yeah, we finally got through all of December. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I've been trying to do, get through about a month or so earlier on in the season to just try to advance the career mode nice and far. But when we did make it to the 1st of January, we got another training injury, and it was Chiellini for 2 months. So we've lost a pretty decently rated centre-back. We've lost Pjanic. Thankfully, we've got plenty of centre-backs to replace Chiellini, but Pjanic we're going to miss, I reckon. I'm going to have to play Emre Can still. 2 pretty crap injuries to end this, but at least we're doing well. We're still in the Champions League. We've got a great fixture in the Champions League as well. But we are in January. Thank you so much for watching. The transfer window is open, and I will look to be making a few more signings. We'll see what I end up doing. But until the next video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one.